to me, is economic racism. They need a vision that includes the citizens. I'm Rodney Roberts. I ask for your vote to help relieve our citizens on March 12th for District 3. Thank you.
I listened to my opponent's closing, and I understand what he may be feeling, and I apologize that he's feeling that way, but none of what he's feeling is accurate. Riviera Beach is not perfect by a long shot. We're not. We have some issues, and maybe some of the issues have been some staff issues, and maybe, you know, on some of these cases that have not turned out properly, you know, that those have been some unfortunate things, and we're not proud of those by, you know, any stretch of the imagination. But what I can tell you in no degree of uncertainty is that in this particular race, the choice is clear. Please retain me in that seat. Please retain me in that seat. Not just because I'm the better choice for this point in time. I understand where we are. I understand the issues. And this is not about getting a text to have a punch line. This is about knowing what we're going through, knowing where we need to go, knowing how to spend the money, knowing what you say in a public forum like this when it's not true, how we can spread out and continue to give the city a black eye. Those are the types of things that we work so hard to do to rebrand our city. I'm not disrespecting Mr. Roberts at all. I think he's a wonderful individual, but as far as the representation right now, I'm the choice that Riviera Beach needs. I'm asking you to go out on March the 12th and vote for Cedric Thomas to stay in that seat, to continue to move forward, to continue to have somebody to work with. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you all on March 12th.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from Billie Brooks, who is running for the position of mayor of the city of Riviera Beach. Ms. Brooks. Oh, and before Ms. Brooks takes the podium, let me just mention that Mayor Masters, Elizabeth Robinson, and also Bruce Guyton called in and apologized for not being able to attend today's forum due to some emergency meetings that popped up in their respective schedules, but they wanted to convey their desire to be here. I'm sorry, Ms. Brooks.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the invitation to come and to share with you all about Billie Brooks and my candidacy for the office of mayor. I have been serving on the city council now for 2 terms, and currently serve as the chair. On the personal side, I am married to the Reverend Henry Salter, who is one of my greatest supporters. Thank God for that. Yeah, without his support, I think I would be here. I've been living in Riviera Beach, gosh, ever since I was 17 years of age, and I'm certainly a qualified senior. It is certainly my pleasure now to move from the chair position to become the mayor of our great city. Some people are saying, well, why do you want to give up a vote? Well, for me, in the mayor's position, you've got to have leadership. You've got to have integrity. And it certainly benefits to have someone who has business experience in that position. Oh, I'm just watching. Okay. Certainly, I want to take all of the experience that I've had these 4 years, the experience that I had many years ago when I served as First Lady of the city. Some of you may be too young to know, but Riviera Beach's first black mayor was Bobby Brooks, to whom I was married, and I saw what he did as mayor. So the mayor doesn't have a vote in Riviera Beach. But you know, what matters is the voice of influence. And that is why Riviera Beach right now, when you see the complex there, that was because Bobby Brooks and myself as partners went to Washington and bought the bacon bag, and that's really what it's all about. And the mayor position must now move into one of some progress and leadership, and I know that I am qualified to do it.
Ms. Brooks, we have a few questions that have been presented by members of the audience. The first one is in reference to the infrastructure contracts, I guess, in regards to the renovation along the Broadway corridor and Riviera Beach. The question was asked as to who was actually awarded those contracts, and of the contracts that were awarded, what percentage went to local companies?
Now, that's Department of Transportation.
Okay. That's reading the questions. Yes.
Okay.
The answer wouldn't necessarily know.
Now, we're talking about Florida Department of Transportation is the one that's doing the infrastructure.
It was just presented.
Okay.
I'm just reading.
Okay, well, that's the answer.
Okay,
Can
okay.
I talk a little bit more about the platform?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Just as everybody else, I just take all my opponent's time, okay? Oh, there's some things I gotta tell you all, so you know, because I know what I'm doing here. You know, I want to also highlight that the mayor has got to be in a position that you're respected by the council. I am the only person in this race that can say with the truth that no matter who is elected to serve on the council, I have their respect. I know that, and that's very important. It doesn't exist right now. I'm the only person that comes with a business background. The only person. And the only one that is a taxpayer. There's no other opponent in this race who owns any property, pays any taxes in the city of Riviera Beach. It does make a difference when you have a vested interest in this city. Now, what I have a commitment and a conviction and a concern for our seniors. While on the council, I did sponsor a resolution both in 2010 and 2012 to ensure when the water rates went up, which I did not approve of, that at least our seniors living on a certain income would be entitled to $130 at that time, which was 2010. This year it's $120. Also, because our citizens have been having, and this is across the entire city, have been having these unexplainable water bills. And everybody was so insensitive. I mean, water bills like $400, $500, and then your bill drops back down to $50 or $60. And what they were doing, and I call it rape of the citizens, was just giving them a payment plan. I had one lady getting no more than $1,000 a month, and she was required to pay this. I said, oh no. So my council person, thank you, Cedric, and others said, look, we're not going to permit this. There has got to be an appeal process. So now when they get those bills, and this became effective November the 7th, they no longer must need to pay that bill. Pay your previous bill. We'll look at your history for the last 12 months and allow you to pay an average. We had one church had a bill of $5,000. You know, and it's ridiculous. It is unexplainable. So anyway, I want to continue being the champion for that.
I hate to interrupt you, but
okay.
We want to open up open up for Q&A. So if anyone has a question that they'd like to direct to Ms. Brooks at this time, feel free to raise your hand. Mr. Studstill.
I'm fine.
My question is, first off, congratulations on the marina project to our entire city, just not the whole, I think it's the whole city, and I'm very excited about that. Could you speak to reference to small business? What I'm asking is, under your leadership, would you advocate give a roadmap for a small business to participate in the marina project or development? I'm just going to say one more thing. In reference to small business in Riviera Beach, I've talked to a lot of business owners. It's been a stronghold for getting capital and different things to get to that point where we can have an opportunity in the marina. With your leadership, would you develop a plan for us to get over to the bridge and have that opportunity? And also, I hear a lot of numbers in Riviera Beach. 28 million, I think Commissioner Thomas said 2.9 for the Heights project, something like that. But what I don't hear is how much is allocated. We can have a small business loan fund can help us get to that side. You know, I love the plan, but I don't see us getting there.
Yes, because as I stand right now, we have applied for funding on a matching kind of basis that would allow us to set up a special loan fund for small businesses. And we should know about that, I believe, is it around July? Around July. But we're trying to get, I know it's about 5 million, I believe. But it's quite a huge sum that we're looking for. Ever since Tony had arrived, I had expressed to him, we must come up with some way to help our small businesses. Pompano has done it, and I wanted us to be able to model pretty much after them. So it is on the paperwork now, and we're believing it's going to happen.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Down to your 2-minute closing time. So now if you want to close out, feel free.
Yes, I want to say, and Keith James touched on this, it's going to take the private businesses to come into the city to make a difference. I strongly believe in public-private partnerships. That is the way to go. It can make things happen in our city. We're talking about housing for seniors. I have been in conversation with a young man who is with Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley, the Praise Foundation, and Liz have formed a public-private partnership with a fund at $100 million. They made the press release January the 17th, and what they're doing is looking for small cities that need low-income housing connected with a health facility. That fits in perfectly with the plan that we have for the cottages, Spanish Courts on Broadway. It's a part of our plan for redevelopment along the Broadway corridor. I have spoken to, well, I didn't really speak with them, but I've had conversations with one of their coordinators here that want to bring in housing for disabled female veterans. So there's much that's out there, but we've got to get the business partners, the private people to come in and work together. So that's something that I'm looking at as well. Now this year, education, I gave 15 scholarships just in February to college students in Riviera Beach. I believe in that. I'm hoping that every one of these students, when they graduate, will come back and contribute to the fund. It's called the Billie Brooks Memorial Fund. So with that, I want to say that I ask for your vote. If you live in Riviera Beach, if you don't, call everyone that you know. Tell them to please, please vote for Billie Brooks. The Brooks do make a difference in Riviera Beach. Thank you.
And our final group is in regard to the District 5 seat in Riviera Beach. We have Mr. Terrence Davis and Ms. Kimberly Jackson. Use the same format as before, 2 minutes for openings, and then we'll have some questions from the audience.
Good evening, I'm Kimberly Jackson, running for City Council in Riviera Beach, District 5. I am a lifelong resident of Riviera Beach. I am a homeowner, and I also have one son, Marcus, and my husband who is here tonight, Richard Jackson. I decided to get in this race is because I want to make a difference in my community. I love the city of Riviera Beach. Despite all of the negative press that we've seen and we've heard about, the city has so many opportunities. And I wanted to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And with my skills and my expertise, I knew that I could bring a change to our city. I started with my homeowners association as the president. When I moved into development, we had some serious problems. And we had some issues that needed to be addressed. I put processes in place that helped make my community a better place to live. And today it is thriving at a time when we were suffering an economic downturn. Our community was operating in the black. So I'm very proud of that. You have my bio card on the table, so I won't list all of the places that I have worked and all of my accomplishments.